Welcome to Crestron Toolbox tutorial. One of the tools featured in Toolbox is the address book. The address book maintains a list of devices for easy one-click connection. It also provides the ability to use a user-friendly name to connect to a device. Using the address book, the user has the ability to add, edit, delete, or import devices into an address book. We will review how to do this later. Address book uses a file to be able to save, transfer, or archive a list of devices. The file extension for an address book is .xadr or .xadr. These extensions are recognized by Toolbox software as an address book file. There are different methods to connect to devices. Address book gives you the ability to set the communication based on the type. For instance, an Ethernet device on a local area network, a device using an RS-232 cable, a device using USB, or using the indirect method, which we will discuss in detail later. Ethernet settings for a device gives the ability to set the host name or IP address of a device. Add a custom port number, or use the default port number 41795 if left blank. If authentication is enabled on the device, this can be added to prevent entering this information anytime Toolbox connects to this device. If accessing a device on the processor's control subnet on a 3 series or 4 series processor, this gives the ability to connect using the host name of that device from the LAN port of the processor. Although RS-232 is not used on newer devices, legacy devices such as 2 series processors connect using RS-232. This gives the ability to set the COM port baud rate, parity, data, and stop bits in order to connect to the device. USB settings give the ability to set a specific USB device in the address book by adding additional information such as specific model number, host name, or serial number. In addition, adding in the username and password for authentication if security features are enabled. Indirect type is useful when connecting to devices that are connected to a processor or similar device, such as CrestNet devices, InfiniteEX wireless devices, Zoom lighting devices, or a specific slot number of a device. To manage the address book, click on Tools in the navigation menu at the top of the screen and select Manage Address Book. This can also be opened by clicking on the address book icon located in the toolbar below. Once the tool is open, you can recall previously used address books by clicking on the drop-down menu under the current address book. These files are saved in the Documents, Toolbox, Address Book folder on the local computer. The user also has the ability to set the address book as the default. When Toolbox software is open, the selected default address book will load automatically. To open or create a new address book, click on the Open New button and it will automatically open the folder location in the Documents Toolbox folder. From this location, you can select an address book to open or create. Address book also gives you the ability to import from one address book file to the current open address book. By clicking on Import and selecting the address book.xadr file, Toolbox will automatically import all the devices from that file to the current address book that is open. To add a new device to the address book, click Add Entry or F3 on the keyboard to use the shortcut. Under the name category, a user can enter a friendly name for this device. This name is what will be visible in additional tools within Toolbox. The next step is to select how to connect to this device using Ethernet, RS-232, USB, or indirect. For example, to connect to a processor using an Ethernet type connection, select TCP for an Ethernet connection, followed by entering the additional information, such as IP address. We can also add in additional information, such as connection type, port, username, and password if authentication is enabled. By clicking on Add Entry, you can add additional devices as shown here. For indirect devices, such as a Crestron keypad that is connected to a processor, in the Through drop-down, we would select the processor that was added previously. An additional way of adding devices to Address Book is using Device Discovery. By right-clicking on a device, it can be added to the current Address Book. By clicking the Address Book button at the bottom of the tool, this will give the user the ability to add all of the devices found in Device Discovery and add the option to connect using hostname or IP address. Once all the devices have been added to the Address Book, by clicking on the Address Book drop-down option on each tool, the user can now connect to that device without entering the information. Thank you for watching.